All right. Hello. Good, good evening. Um, I hope that you have all been really enjoying this workshop. I'm going to be giving you a sort of final overview of mentorship. I imagine this will touch on some of the topics that you have already covered, so bear with me if that is the case, but hopefully this talks about some new tools, approaches, and overall styles of mentorship that haven't been dived into as much. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Renee Gittins. I am currently the Executive Director of the International Game Developers Association. Uh, I'm also the CEO and Creative Director of my own indie studio, Stumbling Cat. And I have been an official mentor across many different programs. I mentored high school students in game development with Foundry 10. I lead the IGDA's Global Mentorship Program. The IGDA, of course, runs multiple mentor cafes across industry events. And I've mentored people across many different career roles over the last decade. So as you're probably familiar, the IGDA's mission is to support and empower game developers in achieving a fulfilling and sustainable career. We do that through knowledge, resources, and advocacy. And a very important core to that knowledge and resources and community really is mentorship. We believe that mentorship is extremely important to career growth, no matter where you are at your career or what kind of discipline role you currently are within. So why mentorship? I think that mentorship is truly a critical tool. It's how developers succeed and ship games, but also how they learn to grow and advocate for both themselves and the people around them. And I think the aspect of the people around them is also extremely important. A good mentor will help their mentees become people who can mentor and also advocate for others. So let's talk about types of mentorship. I think that mentorship can be approached in many different ways. First, the most common type of mentorship is most likely, experience and skills gap assistance and guidance. And what I mean by that is you have someone in the same discipline who has more years experience and more refined skills in a certain discipline that is working with a more junior person, helping them identify where they need to get more experience, what skills they need to work on. A good way to think about this would be a senior artist helping a more junior artist look at their portfolio and understand ways to improve their techniques, whether that is the overall artistic technique to improve the visuals of their art by improving anatomy or dynamics of positioning, or additionally the technical techniques so that they are being more efficient and clean in their modeling and work. The second type of mentorship that is extremely common and very important is career coaching. And career coaching is helping someone get to the next level of their career. This might be helping a junior get to a mid-level position, but often this is actually more targeted towards senior people in their career or very, very entry level. This could be helping a college student understand what they need to do with their resume and portfolio, and even within job interviews to get into the industry. But it can also be helping someone move from a mid-level to a lead or a senior to a director position and start working on skills that are not so discipline focused, but are more leadership focused, assisting them with soft skills and understanding new aspects of their career that will be important in this next move. Another type of mentoring, and one that is less commonly recognized, but that I think is important, is peer mentoring. And peer mentoring is where two people of a similar level, whether or not it's the same discipline, are talking so that one may use the other as a sounding board or to get confirmation of their own skills and values. I'm sure that we're all aware that imposter syndrome is very common within our industry, and most likely all of us in this Zoom call have faced imposter syndrome once or twice. A really wonderful way to overcome imposter syndrome is to surround yourself with people who you respect and who you trust, and ask them for truthful feedback about your own skills and your place within the industry when you're feeling insecure about yourself, when you're feeling unsure. Having people who provide you with that feedback that, yes, you are valued, yes, what you're doing is correct, yes, you belong here, is very reassuring, and it can help somebody overcome obstacles in their career that are more tied to their self-value. And then finally, of course, the type of mentoring to note is professional mentoring, where instead of an individual mentoring another individual, it is more on an individual mentoring a company or a decision maker within a company, specifically to help them with the decisions that are being made for the favor of that company. These are usually paid roles, such as consulting or advising, or even board members can really be considered mentors in these roles. They are mentoring the decision makers within a company in order to make the best decision possible. If you get practice and experience with mentoring in other roles, it is easier to achieve these paid and sometimes often lucrative mentorship roles that are in the consulting and advisory categories. So now that we talked about different types of mentorship and really what a mentor is, let's talk about what a mentor is not. A mentor is not training somebody or supervising someone to be good at their job. As tempting as it is to be a teacher, training somebody on a new skill set or tool, it's not necessarily mentorship. Mentorship is identifying someone's areas of weakness and encouraging them and empowering them to work on overcoming those. It can be, of course, providing feedback, but you're not going to be teaching somebody how to use Maya. That's not mentorship. That's really just teaching. Mentorship is not just hanging out and talking with someone. Now, it is great to build a level of trust and friendship with the people that you are mentoring, but you need to be talking about things that are of value to their career and their personal growth. It's not just chit-chatting with them. Mentorship is not therapy. You might encounter mentees who are going through emotional struggles or other types of struggles and provide them with advice. But note that you are, well, I don't know if you're not, but you're most likely not a trained therapist or psychologist, and you should probably avoid providing any types of advice that would be considered in that realm. Now, you can make some high-level recommendations that they look for assistance with those troubles, but you shouldn't be taking on the burden of providing them with assistance outside of really their career spectrum and their approach to their careers and potentially work-life balance. And finally, a mentor is not someone who's going to do work for the mentee. You might help a mentee walk through a problem or project that they're working on, but you should not be doing their work for them. So let's talk about why you should mentor. Mentorship has a lot of benefits. For mentees, of course, they are the target of mentoring. They're the ones who are supposed to benefit from mentoring, and it provides them with many different benefits and resources and tools to improve their careers and their lives. It helps them identify areas of weakness in their skill set and gives them advice on where to find resources to improve those skills and really help them identify any areas that they might not even be aware of that they need to improve. Sort of the Dunning-Kruger effect. Sometimes people are confident, by not knowing where they should be unconfident, and helping a mentee gently identify areas that they might not be even aware that they are unskilled within is important for a mentor to assist with. Mentorship also, as previously mentioned, assists with career guidance, helping them obtain a new job, transition jobs, even perhaps transition disciplines. Within the game industry, we actually see people transitioning in between disciplines more often than pretty much any industry out there. So providing career guidance in both the new job acquisition and job transitions is something that mentees greatly benefit from. Mentorship also provides mentees support to overcome obstacles within their career and their lives. We often run into failures within our careers or into problems that can be difficult for someone to approach by themselves. And a mentor can help coach the mentees through those difficult challenges. And another final huge benefit for mentorship is assisting the mentee in creating a network, even if that network is just adding you to it. I've been hearing a lot sort of this joke that the whole world might have 7 degrees of separation, but the game industry has 2 degrees of separation. And so as someone who will be more experienced and have a bigger network within the industry, being connected with you will give that mentee a lot of opportunities to connect with others. Now, when it comes to the benefits that you will receive as a mentor, I think the first and foremost is leadership experience. A good leader can help coach and mentor those who work with them, and being able to approach constructive criticism in a way that maintains the morale of the people that you're working with is an extremely important leadership skill, and one that you have to exercise frequently within mentorship. Mentorship can also help you get confidence. As I said before, imposter syndrome is something that's common within our industry, but having people come to you and thank you for the advice that you're giving them, especially advice that you might discount frequently yourself, will help you feel more confident in your own skills and abilities and expertise. And then finally, mentorship can provide you with additional career opportunities, whether that is consulting or advising, whether that is your mentee, connecting you with other people, or if it is simply a method to demonstrate your own skills and experience and give you just something to talk about when you're interviewing for your next job. So now that we've talked about what mentorship is and isn't and the benefits of it, let's talk about how to succeed as a mentor, how you can be a great mentor. So first of all, let's talk about what to expect. So mentees are going to come to you most likely with questions. Some might not. So it is good to think about the topics that they may need to talk about, but might be too shy to bring up. Career growth questions are very common. Resume and portfolio reviews are something that is very easy to start with. And if a mentee wants to be mentored but is unsure of where to start, I highly recommend looking at their resume and portfolio. Moving on from that, you can also assist them with job interviews and practice, and also promotion negotiations and practice as well. Many people find it very difficult to ask for raises, especially those who are early in their career. So I really recommend looking into practicing those kinds of situations with your mentee if they're going to be going into that type of career ask. They also might ask about specific challenges in the workplace. Difficult conversations to have is something that has come up a lot when I have been mentoring others. For example, someone who was very senior in the industry signed up for mentorship because they wanted to talk about bringing up diversity concerns within their company, and they were unsure how to approach that in a way that would be seen as constructive, polite criticism and not put them in a problematic situation within their career. Again, this is a very common theme. It's about helping them overcome imposter syndrome. That's going to be a super common topic. And it might also help them address particular concerns about other workplace issues, such as harassment or not getting along well with their boss. Both of those are things that have come up. It can be very difficult situations to help a mentee through, but I recommend looking into resources for that before you have to help a mentee through those situations. And we actually have some really good ones on the IGDA website if you want to check those out. And then finally, there should be questions that you encounter that are going to just help the mentee with their day-to-day. That can be building a friendship with them, asking how your day is, they'll ask how your day is, checking in on their mental health to see if there's any areas that they are concerned about. Mentorship has very stressful points to talk about. And so keeping track of the state that your mentee seems to be in is important. And of course, just general personal growth questions as well. I think soft skills are something that mentorship can help a lot with. So that is something to always keep in mind. Now, I have said friendship and keeping track of your mentee's mental health state. And I said that this is not about therapy, and what it really is it's about empathy. Empathy is one of the most powerful tools in both leadership and in mentorship. You need to understand your mentee and their situation in order to be a good mentor. And a lot of that is understanding the context that your mentee is in. You need to understand what their current skill sets are, what position they are within in their careers, how they are doing on a mental health and well-being spectrum. And as well, look into the context of their personal background, the culture in which they're working, and the goals and aspirations that they would like to have. Oftentimes, mentees, particularly those who are early in their careers, are having trouble identifying where they would like to take the next steps in their careers, and understanding the goals that they have, what work brings them joy, even their hobbies can help you identify what would be a good career move that they might not even be aware of themselves. As we all know, there are many disciplines and many areas within the game industry, which not all companies have. So if you have experience with those or insight, it's great to help your mentee understand those potentials. I think another good part of mentorship is encouraging the development of the mentee. This is both breadth of experience and depth of experience. Depth of experience is helping the mentee focus in on their specific discipline. Of course, this happens most when you are a mentor that is of the same discipline as your mentee. But if you are with enough experience, you can at least help a mentee in a different discipline identify areas of potential weakness that they can look into and study more. Breadth of experience is something that's extremely important, and that is often only gained through, well, experience. So helping a mentee with breadth of knowledge by understanding how their discipline interacts with other disciplines, things to consider from a high-level perspective of game development, such as business perspectives, etc., can really help a mentee gain context for their work that will make them integrate more smoothly with teams and just be a better developer overall. I recommend directing a mentee to different types of resources. I don't think I need to go through all of these specifically, but depth resources are going to be discipline-specific things such as white papers, research papers, talks, forums, etc. While breadth of experience, you should encourage them to do things like go through a tutorial or even participate in a game jam, perhaps even in a role that is not of their main discipline. The other type of skills that you should encourage development of is soft skills. soft skills are extremely important and something that I don't think we talk about enough within our industry and within most education systems. I think that the biggest types of career growth that many people face in the first 5 years of their career is improving on those soft skills. Soft skills are an area that mentorship can help with a lot. You can provide additional context to a situation that helps the mentee themselves approach the situation with more empathy. So remember, when a mentee comes to you with a situation that they are having difficulty with, understand that you're seeing a single perspective on that situation. It can be very tempting to just act as a friend to a mentee and say, like, yeah, that person sounds super shitty, like you shouldn't have to deal with that. Where what you should be doing is asking questions to see if there has to be a reframing about the situation. It's like, why do you think the person did that? How did you react? Do you think that you should have reacted in a different way? Shall we talk about ways to handle these situations? Some skills to encourage when you are working with a mentee on their soft skill development is going to be empathetic listening, active listening, constructive criticism, both by providing it and being able to accept criticism. I think a challenge to all of us sometimes is putting our ego and sensitivities to the side in order to be able to accept constructive criticism. And coaching a mentee through how to do that can be very beneficial for them in their careers. You can also help them with the framing of situations. I talked about using questions to assist them in reevaluating an upsetting situation, but you can also use those same questions and directing to help them evaluate a success and understand what brought them there and still how they can improve. And then finally, just encouraging other types of methods to have good teamwork. Within game development, teamwork is so very important unless you're a solo indie, and we don't see many truly solo indies. So assisting them with being able to understand and work with others is going to vastly benefit their careers. So outside of assisting a mentee with their skill development, I think that it is important to help them craft an actionable plan. Now, this is something that I believe in personally very much. I think that it is extremely beneficial for everyone, no matter the point in their careers, to have a plan that allows them to pursue their personal development in a structured way. So to assist them with this, or to actually, this is funny, you can use this for either personal development or business development. You first need to help them identify their goals and just ask them very specifically what their goals are. And if they don't know, ask them questions to guide them to at least determining a first draft of those goals, letting them know that they can change it later. Then help them figure out measurable ways to evaluate those goals. For example, maybe it's creating 2 portfolio pieces a week. Also, help them identify what things that they are good at, their personal value proposition, and then how to market those when talking with others. Have them practice their self-pitch or even their game pitch. And then guide them to tools and resources to assist them in continuing on this personal plan path, so that they are managing their work-life balance, so that they're taking care of themselves as much as they're working on their growth. You, in terms of this tools for assisting them with maintaining that growth, you can provide them with a helping hand that gives them comfort. You can assist them through evaluating their failures. Personal postmortems is a tool that I think is extremely important for us all to do, but often for those earlier in their career requires a little bit of guidance to work through. You can also share your own stories about challenges that you overcame that helped you get on a better path. And this can provide them with comfort when they're going through their own challenges, to know that we all face them. Even the most successful people in our industry have had extreme failures. And of course, I recommend that you encourage them, again, to have reasonable work-life balance and that they take care of themselves. So I also wanted to talk about some additional mentorship tools and techniques. The very first tool that you should really come into mentorship with is objectives and tasks for both the mentorship and for the mentee. You should make sure that the mentee identifies specific objectives that they would like to have, goals to be met through the mentorship. And then at the end of each mentorship session, you should provide them with concrete tasks that they need to act on, or at least help them identify concrete tasks that will be of benefit to them. Another tool that can be useful is assisting a mentee through creating a personal quality profile. This is basically just a self-assessment. When you ask them to evaluate themselves in different skills, both technical and soft skills, you can see where their perceived areas of weakness are, and asking them to even just rank themselves, 1 through 5 on each of those skills will give you context to the areas that they feel most insecure about. You can then address those insecurities if you think that they're not evaluating themselves properly, and also identify areas of weakness that you can work on together. When you're working through those potential difficulties, using a mind map is a great technique. A mind map is a node-based map where you can start with the singular problem or issue and then break it out into additional nodes. And then break each of those nodes out into additional considerations. This is great when they are facing a challenge in their careers, like a work project that is being particularly difficult, or a task that they're not sure how to approach. You can take that task and then break it down into its subtasks, and break those tasks down into their subtasks, and help them identify which of those subtasks they are uncomfortable with, unsure about, and need help with. And then finally, a really great tool is to take them through different career scenarios. This can be assisting them with identifying potential career paths and talking through them about the scenarios that take them along those paths. For example, if they're not sure if they want to go up the lead or the senior route in their discipline. And you can also help them understand how to overcome distressing situations by talking through career path outcomes of something bad. So I know, for example, people come up to me with worry and they're like, but what if I get fired? And it's great to take them through the situation of, okay, so what if you get fired? What is the outcomes of that? How will you handle it? And it provides them with a lot of comfort to know that even if the very worst happens, there are ways for them to overcome it. Now, mentorship, like all skills, needs to be practiced. Mentoring is the best way to practice it, but also just going to many professional events, obviously virtually, mostly these days, is a great way to practice mentorship even before you commit to mentoring a single mentee. All of the time, people are constantly looking for feedback and advice. And as you are providing that, it is great to think about what techniques work, what you find to be effective, and what you think that people are looking for. And I'm glad that I rushed a little there because I think we've hit it right on the mark at 30 minutes. So thank you so much for your support. And thank you so much for deciding to be mentors. I think that our industry is always in need of more mentors. And I am so glad that you are all so passionate about mentorship that you were able to join us for this workshop today.